PlayStation has put out new ads, including Play the Unmissable, that features Marathon, and it still mentions the September 23rd date. I mean, if they don't delay it, it would be, I seriously don't know what the hell they're doing. If they don't delay it, I really think it's likely that they are just trying to get rid of Bungie leadership. At that point, I'm like, they're sending it out to DICE so they can clean house. They're full sending it. I mean, what else can you take away? Everybody agrees it's not ready. So if they're still putting it out there, they have to know it's not ready. So what do you conclude from that? It's not ready. We know it's not. Here you go. They're putting it out when it's not ready because they are aware it's going to fail and they don't care. And at that point, you got to pause. You'd be like, why don't they care? What are they getting out of it? Because no company does anything unless they get something out of it. And I think it gives them finally the excuse legally to clean house totally. Why not just cancel it? I think, again, there's 4D chess happening here. The company knows when they clean house with Bungie executives, there's going to be lawsuits for wrongful termination. And I think that Sony's getting ahead of that by being like, no, this product, we've given you 5 to 6 years to develop. The release date's on the 23rd. It's not our fault you idiots stole a bunch of art. It's not our fault it's not ready and you had to reboot it a few times. It's not our fault. We gave you the resources. We told you the launch date. Now you're going to hit it. And it's going to launch. And if it does really poorly and massively misses the financial targets, then they can fire those executives, get rid of them, not have to pay them out their stock incentives and stuff. And when those executives try to sue Sony, Sony can go, no, look, they screwed up. This is their fault. And they won't be wrong. Now, is it possible that Sony could save it by delaying it, working on it for another year and a half? It's a possibility. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. But I think Sony at this point just needs to cut losses and, you know, even if it's deployed a clear management, hopefully Sony lets the devs build the game they imagined. Yeah, well, and that's the big thing is I think eventually Marathon can get to the point where it's a really solid game with a lot of content that's engaging and interesting. But that I just think is going to take a year and a half, 2 years. And the question is just whether they're allowed to do that after the game launches to not great player numbers. And that I genuinely don't know. Some people have been like, oh, they're gonna just shut the whole studio down. I don't think that's likely. I don't think that they just close Bungie, but I do think they clean house, bring in their own managers, restructure, lay off. I think they do all sorts of stuff to reformat it into their own likeness. You know, I think they do that. But yeah, the whole thing, man, it's just a disaster. Chaucer, thank you for the 5. Starting to believe your theory. Sony is killing it with profit. What's another failed canceled game for PlayStation? They just Bungie talent is left. I mean, what's really freaking insane is that if they were to, like say next week, if they were to cancel Marathon, that would be the second massive live service game that cost hundreds of millions of dollars that they canceled within 12 months because Marathon was canceled and shut down in August. So talk about a rough year. Like, it's unbelievable. Back to back, dude. It's unreal. Bungie leadership has been an issue for a decade now. Can't blame Sony. Well, the problem is that guess who bought Bungie knowing the leadership? Sony. So at some point, you know, the blame is also on them. Everybody agrees, all financial analysts, everybody that looks at the company from a business side of things, they all agree the $3.7 billion price tag for Bungie was asinine. It's unreal that anybody thought that was a good idea. Like, nobody thought the company was worth that. I don't think Bungie execs even thought it was worth that. I really don't. The example I've given previously, you know, when like the kid goes up to the old man's door and knocks on it, it's like, hey, mister, I'd like to shovel your driveway of all the snow. And the kid is thinking, I'm going to do it for $5 because I just want to go to the store and get a pack of Skittles. The kid's willing to do it for $5, but the old man is like, good being resourceful, son. Bet you want money for that work. Sure do, mister. Okay, I'll give you $15,000. And the kid's just, okay. And then he does it. Probably doesn't even do that good of a job because he's a kid and then gets paid $15,000. That is like exactly what's happened with Bungie, is that Sony threw money at them to make this thing that they probably weren't even that confident in. And it's like, oh, Well, okay. Why would Bungie turn down 3.7 billion? Of course they're going to be like, sure, we'll take that. Whatever, sure. It's on Sony that they overpaid by that much. Especially because all of the reporting at the time was that Bungie was in dire financial straits and they needed help to bail out of their rough financial situation. So Sony was in the power position. They could have pushed them to get a better deal, but they didn't.
Bungie and Marathon are beyond rescue at this point. Either they delay and start behind the competition, or they release now before the competition runs them over. The market is just too small.
I agree the market's really small. I think Arc Raiders is in a much, much better position right now compared to where Marathon is. And certainly the sentiment is way better for Arc Raiders. I mean, the meme for Marathon right now is Art Raiders. The whole meme is making fun of the game by referring to the other game they like more. So already you're starting at a huge disadvantage compared to even Arc Raiders. And that has none of the negativity surrounding it. So I just think like they either delay it to late 2026, early 2027, and just try to get to the point where people are like, they kind of forgotten about all of this, which does happen. I mean, the internet remembers it forever, but people within the internet seemingly have a very short attention span and they just move on to the next thing. So they could probably delay it by a year and a half, 2 years, and then just add a ton of content, a ton of features, a ton of stuff, and come back swinging and try again, which honestly I think is the only way this could even potentially work. I don't think releasing in 2025, I cannot imagine a situation where that turns out well. And I don't think they can either, but the decision's coming from on high. This is not a Bungie choice at the end of the day. If it were up to Bungie, they would delay the game indefinitely until the executives get their stock options paid out and then they all retire. They don't really care. It comes from Sony. And if Sony doesn't want to give them another 2 years, which fair, there's just not much they can do, you know?